Hey gamers, this is Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire, and I'm here to bring you a Kickstarter preview of Black Sonata, a solo game that I'm very excited about. In Black Sonata, we're going to be pursuing the identity of the Dark Lady, a woman about whom Shakespeare wrote several sonnets, but whose true identity is a mystery. We're going to travel around trying to catch glimpses of her, which will allow us to collect clues about her, which will then, hopefully eventually, allow us to confront her and finally reveal her identity once and for all. The first thing that we get to do is place our pawn that represents our movement in a location of our choice on the board. I think I'm going to go with East Cheap because it has the word cheap in it and a picture of a mug of beer. Sounds like my kind of place. Next, we're going to set aside our fog cards. These are cards that basically represent our attempts to search for the Dark Lady, and they'll go into the movement deck as we search for her. There are 10 fog cards. They have actions printed on the back that you can attempt to take throughout the game, but be careful. Some are very good and some are very bad. So there are 10 fog cards. That means that we get 10 attempts to search for the Dark Lady. If we run out of fog cards, we will lose the game. So we need to be careful about when we try to search for her. We also have these location keys that represent places we can visit in the game. See how they have little holes in them? This is so cool. I'm going to show you how it works later. When we search for the Dark Lady, we may or may not catch an actual glimpse of her through the location card. Now let's get down to the good stuff. Here are our Dark Lady cards. Just to show you the back of one, let's pick one that we won't use. So these cards with the purple band are more difficult, and we will not be choosing one of these as our Dark Lady today. So we will shuffle until the suit of the top card is not Purple Sage. But if you turn it over, what you get on each clue card is a person who could have been the Dark Lady. So these are actual historical figures who may or may not be Shakespeare's Dark Lady from his sonnets. And then you get an indication of how many symbols on this card are shared with other suits. So in this case, we know that, this card has one symbol in common with the sage cards, one in common with the acorns, one in common with each of these different kinds of plant. So when I am looking at other cards, I can make deductions based on the information that I know. So the goal is to get multiple clue cards and put all of that information together to eventually figure out what symbols must be on the Dark Lady card. Now we're going to choose our Dark Lady. It's a lot like Clue. Basically, we're just going to shuffle these cards until one that is not a sage one is on top. Ta-da! We are starting with a rose. So what we're going to do is we are going to take this card and we're going to slip it under the board. This is our Dark Lady, and it's our job to figure out which symbols are on her card. Then we're going to shuffle this deck a bit more until the top card is the other card that features a rose. Like so. So our first clue card will be the other rose card in the game. Our next task is to set up the movement deck. So this is a hidden movement game, but it's also a solo game. So this deck is the deck that makes it possible for the Dark Lady to move around and try to give us the slips because we can't be entirely sure where she is. So each of these locations has a symbol in the back, which will match symbols on the map of London. So we have an idea of where she could be based on her movement cards, but we have to use logic to figure out where she is. So in order to set up this movement deck, this is actually brilliant. There are several different options for movement on each card, and basically you choose one. So in this case, we're going to choose the second one from the right, and you make sure they're in alphabetical order. They can even be in reverse alphabetical order. I'm actually really impressed with how this works. So we have Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T. This looks good to me. Yeah. So there are also always going to be cards that don't have the letters you're looking for. So this one doesn't have one in that second column on the purple band. That means that it's just out of the game for this particular game. So there are movement cards that go in and out of the deck. They go in different orders depending on what movement sequence you want to play. And some of these movement sequences are also more difficult than others. So if you want to up the difficulty, go down here. So now that our deck is definitely in order, we're going to cut it. So let's just take this and put this on top. So we know that her first location is going to be a location with a boat. The other thing that we need to do before we get going is we need to put this at the bottom. So this is basically a timer. We can go through the deck 1, 2, 3 times. And if we make it to the bottom of the deck a third time, we will lose the game. So we have to be efficient in our movements. You can't just camp out in one spot and keep waiting for her to come by. The game will prevent you from doing that. You have to figure out where she is and chase her down. So now we're ready to start playing. Turn order is very, very simple in this game. Basically, you always move the Dark Lady and then take one action yourself. And the actions that I can choose are move to a location that's adjoining me, so anything that's connected by a line, or I can search for the Dark Lady, or I can use a fog action if we have one, which we don't right now, or I can pass. And those are my choices every time. So, ladies first, let's let the Dark Lady move. So we know that she started in one of these locations that has a boat. And if you want to use them, there are these markers that can help you track where someone might be. So at this moment, the Dark Lady might be here, here, or here. So she could be right next to me, but she could be across the board. And we're going to advance this deck to get a sense of where she has moved. So she's going to move. That means that we take this off the top and put it on the bottom. Aha. So now, the Black Lady has moved to a location with a cross. And there are a lot of possibilities for her on this. So that means that she could have come here. She could have come here. Or, less probably, because of the boat thing, she could be here. So we know that she came from a location with a boat. Oh yeah, she could also be here. We know that she came from a location with a boat, so you need to be looking for things that are reasonably within one movement of a location that has one. So here, here, and here are the best options. This one is far less likely. This is a deduction game. The other thing I'm going to do is go ahead and set aside the card for Eastcheap. I'm just going to put it down here, because if you can visit each location in the game once, you get a one-time action, which is you get to take a free clue. So if I'm not sure where she is, I can also spend time moving around and working towards my free clue. So there are two things that I might want to do. I don't want to move here because I can't move and search at the same time. So she'll just move again the next turn. There's no point moving there. I might position myself to see if she comes my way, which means I might go here or here. I think I'm going to go ahead and go to Cornhill. Let's do it. Since Cornhill is the top card of this deck anyway, we'll just move it over. And that was our turn. So now we'll have another turn. Let's advance the Dark Lady's deck another time. Ooh, she's come to a place with coins. I'm in a place with coins. So see how this symbol matches this symbol here? So there are two possibilities for her movement right now since I don't know where she is. She could have been in this location with a cross and moved to this coin location, in which case I moved the wrong direction, or she's come here to hang out with me. So let's figure out which she did. I'm going to take a search action. It's time already. So in order to search for the Dark Lady, you need to use a fog card. It is going to replace the card in the deck where I'm searching for her, whether I'm right or wrong. So we're going to go ahead and take this fog card. And this is how you make sure that you don't see anything in the deck, because you don't want to accidentally spot, symbols ahead of time that you're not supposed to see. So, I've secretly replaced this card with a fog card. Now, because I'm in Cornhill, I'm going to take this card. I'm going to put it on top of the Cornhill card, and we're going to flip it and look through the hole. If we see the Dark Lady, her silhouette, we have found her, and we will get a clue. If it's blank, I've messed up, and we're just going to have to figure out where she went. So, will she be here? Will she be here? Yes, the Dark Lady is here. We have found her. Him have I lost. Thou hast both him and me. He pays the whole, and yet I am not free. So perhaps our Dark Lady is a bit of a player. Okay, so what this means is that this card is going to leave the game. It's no longer going to be in the movement deck. It's been replaced by this fog card. So we'll just set it aside. This goes just back in the location area. We are going to get to draw a clue, which we'll talk about, and then we'll move on. So let's pick up our very first clue card. Ooh, okay, so we have Penelope Rich is the other rose card. So She, as we know, she has a heart, which I think means she was a bit of a promiscuous lady. She has a baby rattle, which means she's a mother. And she has a crown, which means that she had some court connections. So each of the symbols in the cards, they're used for deduction, but they are also historical information about the ladies that we're looking at, which is one of my favorite parts of this game. So these symbols over here are going to tell us one of these symbols is shared with the other rose card. So I know that either a heart, a baby rattle, or a crown is going to be on the Dark Lady card. I don't know enough to be sure which one it is yet, but it's a start. And now that we have one clue, the Dark Lady is going to advance one because we have one clue. So the deck will speed up and then we'll move her again. So she basically gets 2 moves going to the next turn. She gets, after you search for her, she actually gets as many moves as you have clues. So as I get more clues, she's going to run further away from me when I do catch her. So let's go ahead and advance this deck by 1, which means that our little fog card will go at the bottom. Maybe we'll have it come around again and take the action, see how brave I'm feeling. And now she's gone to a location with a cross, and she's going to move again before we get to make any moves. So we know that she has, however, gone somewhere with a cross. So I'm going to go ahead and just use that information because I'm going to catch her. Well, maybe. I'm on camera, who knows. But now it's her turn again. So she's going to move one more time. Okay, so she's gone to a place with masks. Interesting. So I did get to see, because of the way the deck advanced, she went to a location with a cross from here. So she could have gone to either of these places, and then she went somewhere with a mask. So she's one of these spots right now. So part of what I need to do is decide which direction do I want to go, and then I also need to think about maybe I can collect some locations until I get a little bit more information about where she is. All right, so I'm going to move. I think I'm going to move to St. Paul's. Let's go here. So that way I can get kind of these middle things in the map at least worked out, and then I can like go around just trying to collect places while I'm waiting to get a better sense of where she is. So we now have St. Paul's visited. Once we visit every place once, we do get a clue card, which would be really great. Now she's going to move again. Where are you going, Dark Lady? Where are you going? She's going somewhere with a tree. Ooh. Okay. Okay. So she had a mask last time. So the logical places she could have gone are here and here. This has a mask, but there's no way that she could have gotten there from the last place I saw her. So, or the last place I think she was, because she moved from here to a place with a cross to a place with a mask. So I know that she's going to be probably one of these locations right now. And she's moving to a place with a tree. What that tells me is that I'm going to say I'm pretty sure that she went here. I think she went to Clerkenwell. The reason I think she went to Clerkenwell is because we are not playing a version of the game where she can stay in the same location. She always moves one. If you play harder versions of the game, it is possible for her to stay in the same location twice. So we are not playing one of those versions, so I know her movement pattern. I think she's here. I think she went to Clerkenwell. So what that means is that I can move maybe either to Cripplegate or to Blackfriars and hope that she moves to where I am. So I'm going to go to Blackfriars. I think she might try to get tricky on me. So I'm going to go here. That adds another location to my little location pile, which is really nice. And then let's see what she's going to do. So she's going to move again. She does move to a place with a house. There are more than one possibility. There's more than one possibility for that, though. So she could have come here to Cripplegate. She could have come here to Blackfriars. Regardless, let's look for her so that we can get a more solid sense of where she is. So I want to look for her. So we're going to get a fog card. We're going to slip it very carefully so I don't see anything onto this deck right here. We're going to put this house on top of the Blackfriars card, and we're going to flip it. So if we see her, we get another clue. If we don't see her, she still like races ahead of me and I totally screwed up. Whoops. So let's see. Ooh, there she is. See her face right there? We've caught her skirt disappearing around a corner in Blackfriars. Okay, so, for I have sworn thee fair and thought thee bright. who art as black as hell, as dark as night. Been there, dude. All right, so this gets removed from the game. This comes back here. This fog card replaces it. Let's draw a clue card. So let's see what we get. All right, so let's get a clue card. Okay, so we've got Mary Fitton. All right, so we know that she has 2 signs in common with a rose card, with each rose card. Okay, interesting. All right, so this is gonna tell us something though. So basically we know what she has in common with each suit, but we don't know, these are the only clues that we have. So let's have a look. We know that she has 2 symbols in common with each of the rose cards, which means that she has 2 symbols in common with this card. She'll also have 2 symbols in common with the other. So we know that we can see 2 out of the 3 symbols that are going to be on the Dark Lady card. We just don't know which those are yet. Interesting. So now we have a little bit more information to go on. So now that we've got another clue about her, our Dark Lady is going to run away again. Now that we have 2 clue cards, she's going to advance the stealth deck by 2. We do it in like one chunk. So it's like 1, 2, like this, so you can't accidentally see. And then we put this on the bottom. All right, so we have this beer mug on top, so we know that she went back this way. She likes to drink, can't blame her. All right, so I know that she moved 2 and then, so I think she's here, basically. This is too many spaces over for her to have moved that because it was the fog card, 1 more card that I couldn't see, and then the beer card. So here, here, but she can't feasibly make it here. So I think she's in the Southwark. I think that's how you pronounce it. And we are going to head that way. So why don't we just pick up Liberty the Clink location while we're moving. And then she's gonna move again and we'll see which way she goes. So she's gonna go 1 space. All right, so she's gone to a space with coins. I believe that that means that she has gone here. I think this is where she is. Theoretically, she could have gone here because it's got a coin, but I'm pretty sure she's here. So I'm gonna keep moving her way and hope that she doubles back to me because there's only 2 locations she could go to. So let's move. Also, we've got another location on our little pile, which is good as well, because if we can visit all of them, it doesn't hurt. Okay, so let's see if my gambit has paid off. Will she double back or will she keep running from me and I just have to chase her around the board? Let's see. Ooh, a cross. So I think what that means is that she has come back to where I am. I think that's what that means. Okay, so we're gonna search for her. Hopefully this is not stupid. All right, so here's our fog card. We're gonna stick it on ever so, there we go. And then here's our clue. We're gonna search for her here and let's see if we find her. Okay, so the clue card's on top of the location card. Yes! I hate from hate away she threw and saved my life saying, not you. Ouch. Okay, so why did we want to find her again? All right, so we did find her, which means that we get a really good clue. This leaves the game. This will go here. We'll get another clue. So let's see what we know. Oh. Okay, so we know that this card shares either 0 or 2 symbols with the Dark Lady card, which is a rose. So 1 of the rose cards will share no symbols with it, and 1 will share 2. Okay, so we now know that 2 of the symbols on this card are going to be symbols that appear on our Dark Lady's card, because these have none in common, and this will have 2. So we know that the possible symbols that we can be sure of right now, like of our options, are going to be this one, this one, this one. And then it's still the possibility that 1 of these will be on there, so we need to figure out how to eliminate another option. So at this point, because we have so many competing symbols, I think the chain is totally out. So I'm sure that that's not 1. We still have a lot of possibilities, but I know that 2 of these are going to be it. So if we can eliminate the other 1, then this should be something we can figure out. But for now, because we have done 3, we have 3 clues now, she's going to go 1, 2, 3, and we don't get to see these. They go to the bottom of the deck in a chunk. Okay, so now we're back in a place with a cross. All right, so she's in a place with a cross. Given how many spaces she moved, I don't think she's at this space with the cross. And this one's too far, I'm pretty sure. Maybe, no, it's not. So she could be here. She could be here. She could be here. Because she moved 2 spaces that I couldn't see. She moved the fog card and 2 I couldn't see. So 1, 2, and then the cross. 1, 2, and then the cross. Okay, so I have some ideas about where she might be. Let's go from there, because she still now gets to move again. So now she's going to move one more time. Aha, she's gone to get another drink. She's got like a real bottle and a Bible issue, I guess. All right, so this leaves no question in my mind that she's back in Eastcheap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and come to London Bridge, which lets me pick up another location card anyway, which is great. And then she is going to move. I don't know if she's going to come towards me or not. So let's see. She's going to move. Ah, we got coins. It would have been nice if we got a boat because I would know for sure where she was. So the question is, did she go to London Bridge or did she go to Cornhill? Let's find out. So I'm going to go ahead and search in Cornhill. In London Bridge because, she could be here. She could be here, but I really need one more clue card. The other thing though is if I screw up, she'll run away. And that would be bad. Okay, how many locations do I have left? Bishopsgate, Clerkenwell, Cripplegate, and Shoreditch. Okay, actually, because I'm not totally sure where she is and I don't want to waste a search, I don't feel confident that she's here. She could have gone the other way and I want more information. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move up along here and get my free clue card. I think I really only need 1 more to be sure what the symbols are. I have good information over here, so I am going to choose to just move. So I'm going to go to Eastcheap. I don't get a new location for that, but I'm going to move up along here for the next couple turns to get some locations. So that means that she's going to move 1. All right, so she's moved to a location with a house. Okay, that's good information though, because that means that she's gone to Bishopsgate. If she was here, she can't get to a house from there. So now I know where she is. So I'm glad that I waited because if I'd searched here, I would have been wrong. So I know that she's at Bishopsgate. I'm also going to move to Bishopsgate because I am, well, do I want to do that? Let's think about it. So I'm not going to move actually because it still is going to take me several turns to get my free clue. But if she decides to come back to the Boar's Head Inn, which does seem to be one of her favorite haunts, not that I'm criticizing, I will get another clue. So I'm going to hang out right here because I'm sure she's at Bishopsgate, which means that she can either go back to Cornhill, up to Shoreditch where I never catch her anyway, or she's going to come back right to where I am and I can get a look at her. So let's move this card. Okay, so this is going to go down the bottom. Oh yeah, you couldn't resist the Boar's Head Inn, could you, my lady? Ha ha ha, I think we've got her. I think. I could have totally just like celebrated on camera and then been wrong, but I don't think so. Okay, so let's search for her. That means we need to take another fog card. Let's just slip it. And then we're going to put this on top of Eastcheap. And we're going to see if we caught her for our 4th clue. Y'all ready? Please don't let me just embarrass myself in front of y'all. Oh, good. Okay, she's there. Woo! All right, so, yet do not so, but since I am near slain, kill me outright with looks and rid my pain. Woo, this is some relationship. Okay, so that means this goes back. This is out of the game, and we get to pick up a clue card. Awesome. So here's our other clue card. It's the other blue one. So let's flip it. Okay, so it's another one that shares either 0 or 2 symbols with the rose card. So in this case, the other one had no symbols. This one shares 2 with this card. So we know that our rose card must be the one that shares 0. So that means that we can eliminate the baby rattle and the heart. We know that this card will not have the baby rattle or the heart, because if this card has 2 in common with this one, then the other one, this card down here, has 0 in common. This is awesome. So we know that the other symbol, the one symbol that our rose cards must share is a crown. So I'm absolutely sure that this crown is going to be on there. From there, we can use these other cards to figure out who the Dark Lady is. I think we have enough information to know. So we know that this rose card shares this card shares 2 symbols with each of the rose cards. We know that our card will have a crown. We know that our card will not have a baby rattle. So we know that the other one must be the musical symbol. So the musical symbol is definitely on. So that was helpful. Okay, so we also know that this is going to share 0 or 2. Ooh, okay. I'm not sure that we have enough information yet to be sure whether we want the ink pot or the ring. Oh, yes. Yes. Actually, no, we're sure. We can be sure. Because see how this one has 0 or 2 in common? It had 2 in common with the rose card that we've already pulled. It has 0 in common with the one that's under here. So the fact that it has a ring means that mine cannot have a ring. It doesn't have a ring at all. So this ring is out. We know, I think, the 3 symbols that are on the Dark Lady card. I think we figured it out. So we need a crown, a musical note, and an ink pot. So we have a very artistic and courtly Dark Lady that we must catch. So I think I know who she is. However, our game is not done yet. We still have to catch her one more time for a final confrontation. Okay, so the game is afoot. I'm coming for you, Dark Lady. All right, so we need to move 4 of these stealth cards in a chunk because we have 4 clues. I'm not picking up any more clues because I don't want to advance anymore. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we just move them down in a chunk. And now she's somewhere with masks. All right, so one thing I can say for certain is that wherever this mask space is, it's a solid 3 spaces from me, which means it could be any of them. So I don't have enough information to be sure where she is yet, but we're gonna just slowly move around the board, keep an eye out, because I know who she is, I just have to catch her. So we have to play this smart. So I'm gonna move, you know what, I'm not gonna move. I'm pretty close to her, and I like it when she moves over to this side because the mugs and the coins and it just makes it easier to catch her for me when she's over on this side of the map. So I think maybe I'll move up like 1 and just kind of hang out. I don't want to do anything crazy. She's going to move first though. So she's going to move to a location with a house. So that means that she could, if she was here, she could have moved here or here. If she was here, she could have just like switched. So we still don't have quite enough information to do anything. All right, I'm gonna hang out one more turn. I'm gonna pass and see where she goes. So she went from a place with a house to a place with a cross. Okay, so this is actually helpful because if she moved from a place with a house to a place with a cross, I know that Bishopsgate is not a place where she is. She could have gone here. She could be here, or she could be there. Okay, but that eliminates some options, so that's good. All right, since I've got time to burn and I'm totally cheap, I'm gonna wait another turn. So let's see where she goes now. All right, so she's going to another place with a house, which could again put her here, here, or here. I'm gonna wait her out one more time, because we're getting to the bottom of this, but we still have another round for the deck. Ah, ha, ha, ha. We're getting something interesting now. All right, so now she's in a tree location. So that means that this is out. She's either here or here. She's either in Shoreditch or Clerkenwell. So now I have what I feel is enough information to start moving in her direction because I know she's not on this half of the map. So now that I know that she's in one of these tree spots, all right, I'm gonna go here to Cornhill. I could go up to Bishopsgate, but I don't know. She spent a lot of time down here. I feel like we're in the part of the deck where she's over here. So let's just move. Okay, and let's see what she does. Okay, so we have reached the bottom of the deck for the first time. So what we're gonna do is we're going to, sorry about that, switch this so that it's 1 and then we're gonna just keep going. So I moved, now it's her turn to move. Okay, she's gone somewhere with a boat. Okay, that's actually really helpful information because now I know she's not in Shoreditch. She was in Clerkenwell, and now she's going to Blackfriars. So I could choose to move closer to her and hope that she pops over to St. Paul's. She could try to go down this way, but I can't do anything about that. So I'm gonna just try to position myself to see if she comes to me. She can go back to Clerkenwell, over to St. Paul's, or here. So let's see what happens. All right, so she's gonna move. Well, obviously she's gonna move. Okay, so she's moving to a location with a cross. So the thing that's tough about this is that it could be Clerkenwell or it could be St. Paul's, and I don't know. So I'm gonna have to guess. If I guess, she's gonna run off on me and it's gonna advance the deck a bunch, but I think it's a risk that we have to take. We have to find her. So let's go ahead and search St. Paul's and see if she is there. Ooh, yeah, we use a fog card. Fortunately, we have a bunch of these left, so I mean, I guess if we screw up, it'll be more or less okay. Just disappointing. So did she go to St. Paul's or is she in Clerkenwell? Yes! Yes! She's in St. Paul's. This is awesome. All this the world well knows, yet none knows well, to shun the heaven that leads men to this hell. All right, so we have all of our clues. We have confronted her. I'm saying, Dark Lady, I think I know who you are. You have been revealed, woman. Okay, so let's see. Am I right? We are going to pull this card out from underneath, and we're going to see. We need one with a crown, a musical note, and an inkwell. Did I do it right? Yes, I absolutely did. There's a musical note, there's the crown, there's the inkwell. And we have won a game of Black Sonata. I hope you had fun watching this. I hope that you're interested in playing this game. I've had a blast with it, honestly. I really, really like it. And I think it's actually time for me to start trying out some of the harder settings because I just really enjoy chasing the Dark Lady around the map and trying to figure out where she's gone. So if this looks good to you, it is live on Kickstarter now. Definitely give it a look, and happy gaming.